passing 1,000 yards and putting together the nice season that he has.
Yeah, Jerry's had an excellent year. I'm not surprised by that in his production on the field. I've seen these things in the offseason, the way he was in the offseason, the way he approached every day. He's got great intelligence as a player. He's very instinctive. He works hard. And, I think he's put the team first in everything he's done. I'm very happy for Jerry's success. And I really believe it didn't happen by accident. I think it happened through hard work, and it's who Jerry is, and I'm grateful that he's on our football team.
These last few weeks, I know you don't want to talk specifics about injuries, but I guess just how important would it be to get him back and get a couple more looks at him, because it seemed like he was ascending before the concussion here.
Yeah, Cedric, prior to the concussion, was doing some great things for our offense. He was really improving. Again, another player that I thought that this is how it would go, just because of the things that I have seen, in the meeting room and on the practice field. And he certainly made the most of his opportunities. Unfortunately, right now he's in a situation where he's not out there with us. I think the NFL and our medical staff does an excellent job in regards to the concussion protocol and making sure that players are exactly healthy and in the best condition they can when they come back. So, respect the process there. But Cedric, prior to the concussion, has really done a great job for us, and I'm very excited about his future.
Jerry's talked about seeing more double teams since he's been on this really good streak. So how do you deal with that with him, and what are the coaching points there to, beat the doubles and stay positive?
Yeah, with Jerry's success that he had over that, several weeks, we saw defenses obviously trying to take him away. And, obviously it's our job as coaches to try to look at those things of how they're going to play us schematically in regards to coverage specifically, and try to put him in position. We've asked Jerry to try not to do too much, and I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that receivers who are given attention, let's call it double teams and maybe additional coverage or help that they're providing defensively, is to try to do too much as a player and then just not do your job. So I think that a lot goes into that, from game planning to, who we're playing. And I think the biggest thing is just for Jerry to go out there and continue just to do the things we're asking him, and not to just overthink some of that.
So yesterday he was still getting open despite some of that extra attention against Cincinnati.
Yeah, there were times that, there was attention devoted to him, maybe an additional player, that he was able still to be open. So, it's, again, I thought Jerry does a great job of studying. He spends a lot of time outside the meeting room watching film. So he uses that to his advantage, and I think he's a really smart, instinctive football player. He understands what the defense is trying to do to him. And I think that if anybody can get open versus a couple guys, Jerry can.
Obviously you knew what you were getting in Jerry, but has anything surprised you in the year or so, or not quite a year, but the time you spent with him here?
Yeah, we were really excited when we acquired Jerry. But to see what he's accomplished, and this has been his best year, and very proud of that. Again, this didn't happen I saw this kind of coming, just the way he was working in the building. He does an excellent job. He's a great communicator. He communicates well with the coaching staff, with his teammates. Again, a very smart player who takes advantage of his opportunities. So, to say that, I saw this coming, I really did see. My expectation for him was very high, and it'll continue to be very high, because I think a lot of him as a player.
He has a stat that I'm sure he wished he didn't have. Last time I checked, I think it might have been last week, that he was first in terms of passes intended for him that were intercepted. So is that somewhat a function of maybe Ced not being in the game, David not being in the game, and maybe he's getting some balls that should go to like a taller receiver, or how's that breaking down?
Yeah, specifically talking about some of the turnovers that we've had on the targets that Elijah has been. I think that ball security, I think that a lot of people share in that responsibility, to include us as coaches, myself, whether it's a certain technique that we're coaching, on that particular play. But I think that we are all responsible for it, you know, and then a lot goes into protecting the ball. It's definitely an emphasis point that we've tried to make here in the last couple of weeks because some of the turnovers that we had. You know, but Elijah has really done a good job of trying to be very detailed in his route running. We place him at different positions across the formation, and a lot of times he's right in the middle of it. You know, he's the target. And, you know, it doesn't fall all on Elijah that we've had, you know, lack of success on some of these balls that have been targeted to him. He certainly has produced on some others as well. So I don't think it's just one person. I really don't. I think that, you know, having Cedric in there, it's not like that's, you know, really affecting that much. I just feel like, you know, Elijah's continued to be a detail player for us. We all share in the responsibility of ball security, and we'll continue to do that.
Your unit kind of grow with Dorian these past 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Get comfortable with it?
It's a great question because, you know, when you have a change of quarterback, there's always some learning that goes on. They've worked really hard. We're going to go out there today and we're going to throw routes on air, and we're going to work hard just fundamentally at being on the same page with them. But it takes time. It really does to get on the same page with the quarterbacks. He's done a great job with us and his communication. Hey, here's what I need out of you guys, and we certainly are going to try to be there for him. And I always tell the receivers with a new quarterback, the most important thing is let's just fall back on doing our job, our assignment, exactly the way we're asked to do. The coaches, when we put it in the meeting room, let's go out to the field and let's be there for the quarterback by just doing our job exactly right. So we're going to continue to try to support him and allow him to be the best version of himself. But for him to do that, we just need to do our job really well.
I asked Jerry about this the other day, that Dorian's passes sometimes come in with a little extra heat on them. And he admitted they do come in a little hot, but still catchable. Just wondering, is that something that your guys have to adjust to, or am I not even seeing that correctly, or what's the situation?
Yeah, I think that every quarterback has a different, way in which they throw, a different spin to the ball, a different velocity. And what I tell those guys, our group from day one, receivers, is I don't care who's out there throwing it. It's our job to, to adjust to that ball. Maybe if it's a different type of football thrown, but it's our job to get open and catch the ball, and that's what we're asking our guys to do. I don't put that much into that. I know certainly the guys catching it probably can tell you more about the different throws and those things, but as a coach, what I'm evaluating on is the ball on the ground or not. Do you catch it or not? So that'll continue to be the focus for me on that.
When you talk about the adjustment to a new quarterback, another element to that when it's a different style quarterback, where Jameis was more in the pocket, where Dorian is, outside scramble and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I do think that, you could take any player across the roster and say, hey, everybody's different to each other. Everybody's got different skill sets. So certainly true of the quarterback position too, and just the different styles that they may bring to the table. But there's so many things, like looking at Dorian, that he does well from an extended play. Like we're emphasizing right now, let's do a great job in the extended plays, the off-schedule plays where, Dorian can do a good job of escape and get out of the pocket and us to be productive. And I look back at when Jameis was in there, he did a great job in that area too. So there are some similarities that we're trying to benefit from as well. Jameis was a player that could extend the play in different ways. It might be not all the way to the sidelines, but he could step up and have great vision down the field and find us and throw us open. So, as different as there may be some things, I think there's some similarities too that we're really benefiting from, and that would be one area that I think that both these quarterbacks have done a great job of, is giving us opportunities down the field when the play maybe gets off schedule. All right, guys, have a good day.
Morning. Morning. Great. How are you? Good to see you.
First of all, I know you can't give us really necessarily a health update on JOK. I know that's really not your place. But can you give us any idea at all? I mean, are you in contact with him? Is he in good spirits? Or is there anything that you can share?
Yeah, we text all the time and talk as much as we can. He and the linebackers have their little texts going too, so he's involved. When it gets closer to game time, as any of us would be, he gets excited. And, he stays into our linebacker things where I send out the pieces of the game plan and comments. And he's even offered some coaching points to some of our other younger linebackers, which is outstanding, which is good, and says what he sees. So, we're all just rooting for him to be able to figure out everything that it needs to be figured out with, like you said, with his travel schedule to see different doctors and things, just making sure he's good. But good spirits, not hurting, all that's good.
Him out, it just seems like Jordan at least has been healthy down this stretch of the season, and he's been playing really well. Just how impressed have you been with him? And I mean, he just seems like his effort is 110% all the time.
Well, I tease, but I'm not really teasing the linebackers when I say I'm the hardest grader of the coaches. And Jordan's grades have been some of the highest that I've given in not only, well, we grade them in certain ways, like just did you do right on the play? And his are really high there, but also factor grades, meaning if the play comes to you, do you make it? His factor grades have been really, really high. So just proud of him for doing that. He's doing a great job of working with who's ever in there with him, which is one of our challenges right now. Both our challenge as a linebacker group is it doesn't matter who's playing around you. You're one of 11. Do your job, and our job is to be the nerve center, like Coach Schwartz says, and Jordan's doing a great job of that. Help him with when Mahmoud's in there with him, or Devin, or Winston, or whoever's in. He's done a great job of tying everything together, and he's impressive in that. I know I'm going long because I'm excited for Jordan, but to get his body back to be able to do what he's doing at this level is amazing, and he works, and everything is just a great process to make the play and then go on to the next play.
Like everybody that fills in for you, but how much do you think you've missed JOK and just everything that he can do schematically and all that kind of thing, for the last, 2 months?
Well, I think where Jeremiah went, and we spoke about this a little bit, is he really went to making himself the every down linebacker, having the headset, making the calls, to saying, hey, whoever, Miles, move over, or whatever it is. He went to that point. And when players get to that point, it's very exciting for a coach because there wasn't anything that he can't do. And there wasn't anything he can't do athletically, of course, but he had taken himself, his preparation and his performance was just going like this. So anytime any player gets to that level, you're going to miss that. Because he was playing at that high level, especially those last, he's just going like this. It's just the progression, like all the things we talked about with, the two things that I said every time I came up here, his body and then going playing and playing out to make the next play the best play. He's doing that. So yeah, you're going to miss that. But, you also know in this business, we need everybody. And our guys in that room, we've taken it as a challenge and we've stepped up.
Mahmoud jumps offside last week at the 1 yard line. Kevin said it was so uncharacteristic for him. How do you deal with afterward? Like, what's the conversations like with him? And, should have known better because they're trying to get him to draw off. Like, what do you tell him?
Well, yeah, and anytime you flinch on defense, they're going to call you. They're going to stand up and touch you. So that's the thing is like, he was conscious of the situation and everything like that. But you can't get that cute near the line of scrimmage. So, with any young player and Mood, I'm proud of where he's going. He's doing a great job. And we've spoken about this with Jeremiah's progression in the past, is you get into the new environments and you have to go through that. You have to go into that's his first time playing. He played a little bit down there last year, but meaningful snaps on the road, first time backed up. Okay, cool. And like Kevin said, he's going to learn from it for sure. That's the best part. One of the best things about Mahmoud is once he experiences it, he goes, okay, I got this. I'm locking in. And he really is a one-time correction linebacker player. And we're proud of him for that, and we'll keep him going. But that's all you do. Because if I'm preaching, you got to go to the next play as fast as possible, I got to be able to do that too. Now, you might get a little hand gesture on the sideline from me, like, what the heck are you doing? Or, we have hand signals that we use. Okay, so you might see the guy in the orange shirt do a little acting job, but then I'm on to the next play right away. And we coach it that way. Hey, this happened. All right, cool. What do we got to do next? Where are we going? Let's get this done. And he got better playing as that game went on.
Devin coming in, just what have you guys seen from him this year, and knowing some of the adversity he faced earlier in his career, how he's kind of embraced the role he's been given here?
I'm saying proud a lot. Maybe it's because it's Christmas time or something, but we're really proud of Devin as he has given himself to the system. He hadn't been in this type of a system before, and he's just gotten better and better at it. And you can see him; he's tackling really well. He's at edges, getting off of blocks. He's playing. He's doing what my hand gesture was for Jeremiah. He's getting better every week, and so we are. I'm really proud of him because that isn't always the easiest thing. Is get into a new place, third team, new system, and then just be like, all right, I got you, coach, and then just same thing. Oh yeah, coach told me to be wider all the time this happens, and then he does it, and then he makes plays doing it. But his tackling in the hole and chasing whoever has the ball has really helped us, and we need him to continue to do that against this team because they have some speed.
I was going to ask you about that. Speed. Jim was talking about it yesterday. How does that make life really difficult for your guys, from A chain to the rest of the guys?
Well, yeah, not only the speed, how this system uses their players. I have experience coaching with Coach Mike and Kyle at the 49ers, and how they do a great job of blurring positions and moving people to get angles on you. So that's not only the speed of the players when they have the ball, but the speed of the motions, the speed of their formations. We have to be able to move and leverage things quickly and effectively, whether we're bumping things or locking things or whatever we're doing. They do a great job of that, and that's where we're going to have to function. And it will come right back to that next play's the best play. We'll have to have our mind right. But they do a nice job of using that speed in that, all right, there's a quick throw over here to one of their fast guys. If he doesn't have it, they spread you to the other side, and you'll see a lot of times where the quarterback will look, and then just throw it wide. So they're like, people call them checkdowns. A lot of times it's like touchdown, checkdown in the West Coast offense where the vertical and then the checkdown's right in front of the quarterback. They do a good job of spreading the field for their checkdowns. So specifically, scheme-wise, that not only can the quarterback see it, but that can get their speed guys in space. So their system's a little different in how they distribute their speed.
He is H.N. as a receiving back.
Yeah, he's really good. They've done a nice job. If you look I was talking a little bit about blurring the positions. They're all kind of built the same, and they're fast, and then they can all run all the routes. It's similar to what, we faced last year with the 49ers or who, in that they blur, everybody can run all the routes. And so with him, he's got good hands and he's fast. So they blur the line of that. So again, where they put him in the formations and how quickly they're moving things, we got to have the correct leverage to send it to our help. Thank you. Thank you.